Hey everyone, it's Natalie. I've got to clean my house, but I'm just kind of meditating and thinking while I'm cleaning, so I thought I'd record some of my thoughts. I always questioned why I cared so much about what the narcissist thought of me and why I tried so hard to get this person to accept me and love me. And I think it stems from a lot of childhood neglect. I think when you don't have the best relationship with the same-sex parent, you go seeking that validation from different women in your life, and in your fantasy, you think that when you meet your partner, you gain either a future mother-in-law or a mother-in-law, that you will find that acceptance within that mother-in-law. But when you're dealing with somebody that is a narcissist and you don't find it, you're kind of stuck back in child mode because you went searching for it for so long as a child that when you grow up and you go searching for validation and you don't find it within the person that you are trying to validate you, it re-traumatizes that childhood memory of not having that experience with the same-sex parent. And I think that's why we try so hard to find that validation within our mother-in-law. And this is why we continue to allow the abuse to happen, because we are seeking validation that we have never experienced before. And unfortunately, because we are seeking it from really a stranger, even though it's your partner's mother, this person is a stranger to you. We allow abuse to happen because of our childhood experience. At least mine. And I'm not even saying that you come from like an abusive household. Maybe you have a narcissist mother. Maybe your mother worked a lot. Whatever it is, that you did not get that bond, that connection with that same-sex parent. That when you don't get it, within another mother figure, you're just re-traumatized. You're starting back to ground zero again, trying to build your confidence and your self-esteem once more with another mother figure, which then gets you trapped in another cycle of abuse. And maybe you haven't even escaped your parents' abuse. So now, emotional abuse, psychological abuse from your parents, and now, because you've allowed this to happen with your very own parents, now you find yourself allowing it to happen within another family, within another mother figure. And I think this is why at first we are so blinded about what's going on with our spouse's mother. Because we, in some ways, have normalized our very own mother's behavior and emotional disconnect, that now we are in a situation where we are accepting and living this experience with somebody else's mother. And when you are seeking for validation from a mother figure, you will try your damnedest to get that, even if that means you lose yourself along the way. And then you find that because this person is not your real mother, and this real person really does not care about you, this other real mother does not care about you, the abuse is 10 times worse. And because we've already experienced abuse within our very own nuclear family with our parents, we find excuses in our partner's parents' family And also, we feel like since we didn't get validated from our very own mother, we will do whatever it takes to get validation within somebody else's.
Mom?
Yes?
You're on the phone?
Yeah.
With who?
I'm making a video.
Okay. Mom?
What?
Go do my Twitch.
I am. I'm doing the cleaning real quick. I'm on the video. Yeah. My son's playing in the snow outside and all that. You know, and the other thing is when we go seeking approval and validation within somebody's, another person's mother, and we don't get it, and then we are re-traumatizing ourselves, we don't know how to get out of it. And I think this is why the cycle continues for so long before we wake up and we wipe our hands clean of the situation, because just like you tried for so long with your very own mother, you also put that much effort, if not more, within somebody else's mother looking for that validation, and then you don't receive it. And maybe you've been healing from your own personal childhood trauma, but then because you were healing from that, even though you're not a child and you're an adult, you go back to childhood mode and you remember your abuse from this family, and then it carries on to that family, and then your trauma is doubled. And this is why I also think it hurts so bad when another mother rejects you. And this is what stems our anger with someone else's mother and our very own, is that nobody accepted us, nobody loved us, and you don't feel like any mother has your back. And as good people, we try to persuade others that we are good people, that we are worthy of love, we are worthy of a relationship. And this is what gets us caught in this cycle. But people can only take so much abuse before they start waking up to reality, because that fantasy hamster is not matching up to the reality hamster. And for so long we have been listening to this fantasy hamster, and reality has been at the wayside. But when we wake up to the truth that all of this that we imagine, we created within our head, is a fantasy, and we start living back in reality, we as people start becoming brave and more confident within who we are as people. And so then that is the line drawn in the sand of, no, you're not going to treat me like this. You're not going to get away with this. You're not even my mother. I don't care what you think. You can say and do what you want. And you walk away from that relationship, even when it is causing conflict within your very own marriage or a relationship with your boyfriend. You realize that not only is the trauma and the hurt too great to deal with, but you also realize that you don't have to put up with it. See, we believe, because of social standards, that we should care and we will benefit from having a relationship with our partner's mother. We have been conditioned to believe that, but that is the furthest from the truth. Your partner's mother has no relation to you. She is a complete stranger. You do not spend time with this person. You do not have any type of emotional or sexual connection with this person. And maybe over time you get an emotional connection, but when it comes to like your partner and comparing that emotional connection to his mother, it's like apple and oranges. And you realize that you don't need to make this other person happy. That has no relevance in your life. And when you start to see that you are in a relationship with your partner and not the mother-in-law, You grow confident within the no contact, the gray rock, standing up, having boundaries, and stopping the hurt that the narcissistic mother-in-law is always doing to you. And we take everything so personal due to, a lot of it has to do to rejection from our very own mother. And maybe you did have a good mother. Maybe you had a strong connection. But I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that have had a really crummy experience with mother figures. And this is why it hurts so bad. And this is why you find yourself thinking about it so much, because you've never been validated as that little girl or as a mother or wife. And so in some ways, when you stop listening to that fantasy and you live in reality, it's going to cause a big chaos. But in some ways, you become the person that you never knew you were, and you start growing stronger in those boundaries. And even though it's going to start conflict with your boyfriend, your husband, or within the nuclear family, you are brave enough and strong enough and smart enough to know that the way these people are treating you is not right, and that you will not tolerate it anymore. Even if that means that you are ruining the relationship with your husband or with your boyfriend or partner. Because you are important in this world. You are important to other people. Other people show you they cherish you. Other people appreciate your presence. Other people see the type of person you are. And you're grateful. You have gratitude towards those people. And you have a strong relationship, and everything's good with those people. And that's why it's so confusing that this one person treats you this way. And mainly because you never experienced anything like this before. You've never had someone intentionally trying to destroy you, intentionally trying to destroy your relationship with someone that you deeply love. And so it's hard to fathom that there's people out there. And this also keeps us stuck in a cycle of proving oneself, finding validation, trying to change the other perception of this person they have on you. But no matter what you do or say, you will never change somebody's perception of you. They have, especially the narcissists, because no matter if you're the best person in the world and you go on missions and feed hungry children, they already perceived who you were before you entered into their life. They had a perception, a dream of their child's partner way before they knew your name. They already knew how they were going to treat you. They already knew what was coming in the future. This was all pre-planned since your partner has been a child. Look, my son's right here. I can't talk anymore. I don't know. This is just some thoughts I was having while I cleaned. I hope you appreciate it. Peace, love, and harmony.